Hi, boys and girls. Let's keep going with the story of Daniel. The next story is story number 212, which is called Daniel Keeps Praying. So remember, King Darius made this rule saying that anyone who prayed or asked or requested anything of anybody other than the king would be thrown into a what? What would happen to him? Be thrown into a pit with lions. So number 212, Daniel keeps praying. The governors and supervisors thought carefully when they drew up the law for the king to pass. They knew that Daniel prayed every day, asking God for all that he needed. They would soon find him guilty. They also knew that the laws of the Medes and the Persians could never be changed, meaning that even if the king wanted to, he could not change it and go back. When Daniel heard about the new law, he figured that they were doing something to plan against him. But he would not stop praying to God, or he would not even pretend to stop praying to God. He decided he would rather die. He knelt by his open window, as usual, and prayed out loud to God. When his enemies saw him, they rubbed their hands in glee. Can you rub your hands in glee? Ha ha ha. They said ha ha ha. Daniel had fallen into their plan, and so had the king. Were they bitterly jealous? Your Majesty the King, they said to King Darius, do you remember that law that you passed? Daniel is breaking it 3 times a day. They could scarcely hide their mean satisfaction. He makes requests to his God, and he goes against your law. Too late. Darius realized that he had been tricked into putting to death his best and most well-loved governor. All that day, King Darius tried to think of some way to save Daniel, and by evening, these men were back. Your Majesty, you know that the laws of the Medes and the Persians cannot be broken, they reminded him. The king knew that he was caught in the trap of these bad governors. Unwillingly, he did not want to, he gave orders for Daniel to be arrested and taken to the pit where hungry lions were kept. Now, what would happen to you if you were thrown down into a big, deep cave that was filled with lions who had not been fed? You're made of, right? What would they do? They're going to eat you up. Ouch, that would hurt. The king himself, which isn't usual, went to Daniel and said, Daniel, you have been loyal to your God. I hope he keeps you safe. Daniel was dropped down into the narrow opening into this pit where the lean lions, means they were hungry. They were pacing restlessly up and down inside their cage. Then a large stone was put over the top. We're on to the next story. It's called The Morning After, story number 213 for the mom and dads. Here we go. The king returned to his palace with a heavy heart. It meant he was very sad. He waved away his servants who ran forward to serve him. No food, he said, no music. And he went to bed. All night he tossed and he turned, unable to sleep. He knew that he had condemned to death a good man and an honest man who had served him well. Was that a good thing to do or a bad thing to do? That was a really bad thing to do. As soon as the first pale light of dawn, that's morning, say dawn, crept in at the windows of the royal bedroom, King Darius sprang out of bed. He could bear the suspense no longer. He summoned his servants and was soon on his way to the lion pit. The huge stone had to be removed, and the king called down into the bad-smelling darkness, Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God able to save you from the lions? What do you think happened? He was so relieved. With a thrill of relief, he heard Daniel's voice echoing from within the pit. "Your Majesty," said Daniel. "God sent his angel to close the mouths of the lions so that they would not hurt me. He did so because I'm innocent and have done your Majesty no wrong." The king was overjoyed. "Hurry, hurry," he ordered impatiently. "Get ropes and pull Daniel out." They hauled Daniel up and looked at him. There was not even a scratch on him. Then the king, to the king's relief, turned to anger against the men who had tricked him and tried to hurt Daniel. "I want you to throw those two wicked men," these guys who had made the plan. "I want you to throw those two wicked men." Where do you think he's going to throw them? On the couch? Where's he going to throw them? Can you say it? "To the lions," he commanded, and his orders were quickly obeyed. This time, the lions did not keep their mouths closed. What does that mean? When it says this time, the lions did not keep their mouths closed. So did the lions not eat Daniel because they just weren't hungry? Why did the lions not eat Daniel? Do you know? If you have a cat or a dog at home, ask your mommy or daddy to show you what it would look like. I don't maybe want you to do it just in case it's too hard, but to close the mouth of your dog or your cat. Just gently hold it closed. Can you picture what those angels were doing? Holding those lions' mouths closed. Now, how big would you have to be to hold the mouth of a hungry lion closed? How powerful would you have to be? You'd have to be stronger than that lion, wouldn't you? Just that's an interesting thought. Boys and girls, remember to do what? Thank God out loud every day. He is big and he is good and he loves to take care of you. Bye-bye.